Hello everyone, Civ Extraordinaire here. I wanted to spice things up a bit and make today's video about my top 3 favorite civs. This wasn't necessarily a requested topic, but I thought it would be good, nevertheless, to share more about my playstyle and how I like to structure things. Now, just to clarify things before we get into the video, I want to make it clear that by no means is my list objective. This list is purely of my opinion about the different civilizations in Civ 6, and a lot of the civilizations that I tend to like rank fairly low on tier lists. I also should point out that I do not consider myself an expert at the game either, so please don't come out with the impressions that these civs are the most fun and interesting. Everyone has a different playstyle, and I am no exception to the rule, so without further ado, let's get cracking. For number 3 in my favorite civilizations tier list, I have picked the Netherlands. Now, you might be wondering why the Netherlands are on here in the first place. They have a fairly poor leader ability, which loses its relevance well before the late game, and some of their bonuses can seem bland at times. I'm here to tell you that, yes, their leader ability and their leader choice, in my opinion, suck. However, where the Dutch truly shine is their unique improvement, the polder. Firaxis has gone above and beyond in Civ 6 with making unique improvements far more interesting. With Civ 5, the polder rarely saw use, which didn't help alleviate the already poor abilities for the Netherlands. Civ 6 drastically rethought the idea and concept of the polder, instead choosing to have it be placed on coastal tiles, which not only change the way that the Netherlands interact with them, but add appeal and variety to the way their empire looks, which is a trend you may notice throughout this list. Of course, one of the reasons that the Dutch are not higher on my tier list is the choice of leader and Radio Oranje, their leader ability, which I feel are both lackluster. I felt that there were far more interesting and impactful leaders like Willem of Oranje, who could have added more unique bonuses. Yes, Wilhelmina's story is quite inspiring, but I was hoping for a leader that would address the colonial aspect of the Netherlands and its role in the spice trade. Also, having a slight nod to the Protestant Reformation would have been a nice touch. The Maya take the second spot in my list, and they are here for many of the reasons that the Netherlands are. While controversial, the Observatory is one of my favorite districts. Getting yields with it can be very fun, and it requires you to plan out more of your empire and manage your tiles far more than some of the other science-based civilizations in the game. Mayab, the civilization ability, changes the layout of your cities by stressing farms. The extra gold and housing to farms creates an interesting dynamic. This, in conjunction with the leader ability, makes city placement more dynamic and sophisticated. While the Mayans are far more situational, I feel that it is more fun to play as them compared to the Netherlands. One of my biggest gripes with the depiction of the Maya, however, is their lack of bonuses to clearing out tiles. It is ironic and very counterintuitive for the Maya to not have access to jungle chopping and building farms on hills early to make their observatories better. I say this is ironic because, at the time, Mayans were known for their overexploitation and erosion of the environment, which is considered to be a contributing factor of their collapse. If we could have seen some kind of bonus to chopping, but a malice towards droughts, that would have made their playstyle more cohesive and historically accurate. One other small complaint I have about the Maya is their leader choice. There isn't really much known about Lady Six Sky, and, like the Dutch, I feel that their leader choice is lacking inspiration here. Her ability is not nearly as bad as their leader, but I think the model in particular is lacking, as well as her ability, which do not reflect any of her historical achievements. Before we get to the top spot on this list, I would like to go over a few honorable mentions that did not make the cut for this list. The Kume and Inca are personal favorites of mine, and I love their agrarian focus. Getting to place terrace farms and mountain tunnels throughout your empire as the Inca never fails to make the game feel more interesting and interconnected. On the other hand, making bread baskets with your aqueducts as the Kume feels very satisfying once you can get to insane population levels and start drowning other players with your apostles and insane faith output. The mounted elephants are also a nice touch, which I feel add more variety to the game. Now, what you've all been waiting for, my number 1 pick, is the Gaul. If some of you have been picking up on a few trends, this shouldn't come off as much as a surprise. I love unique districts that change the functionality of a district itself, and the Oppidum is extremely unique. Speaking of uniques, the Geisete, a Gallic warrior replacement, comes early and makes it easier to clear out the barbarian camps. Its bonus against more advanced units allows it to keep its relevance up to the classical era, and I love how defensive the Gaul are in general. Ambiorix's bonuses towards gaining culture for producing units ties in nicely with the focus towards industry. Speaking of industry, let's get back to the Oppidum. This industrial zone replacement not only comes up early, but it gains bonuses from adjacent strategic resources and it allows you to place it off the grid, so to speak. I also appreciate how Firaxis chose to give the Oppidum apprenticeship, meaning that you can immediately build a workshop. To top it all off, the district has a ranged attack and forces opponents to think things through before they attack you. If the developers give other civs the same treatment as they did with the Gaul, you can count me in as a civ fanatic. Well, that's all for today's video. Did you like this new format? I have been considering doing tier lists and rankings for a while, so I thought I would do something more subjective to start off with before I got into more controversial topics like the best district and some of my more controversial opinions about the New Frontier Pass. As always, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and make sure to hit that notification bell to stay updated on new content. This has been Civ Extraordinaire, and as always, stay safe. Peace.